I don't know about you, but I am kind of over the Facebook business page. If you're anything like me, you probably spent a ton of time and energy trying to grow a following for your page, but because of the algorithm, you're seeing less and less engagement. It's frustrating, right? Well, don't give up on Facebook just yet, because I've got a little secret when it comes to using the social media platform to grow your audience: Facebook groups. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Mariah, the owner and creative director of Mariah Riona Branding, helping creative female entrepreneurs build brands with confidence and success. If that's something you're interested in, then be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and click the bell icon to be the first to be notified when I upload new videos. Now, I am by no means an expert when it comes to Facebook groups, which is why I asked my branding client turned very good friend, Shannon Squires of Shannon Squires Photography, to share her secrets for growing a large and loyal audience with not one, but two different Facebook groups. Shannon is an award-winning children's portraiture artist, and when I say awards, I mean some of the most prestigious in the industry. She's also a highly sought-after educator and a partner with Samarana, which creates tutorials, overlays, and Photoshop actions for photographers. So, without further ado, here is my interview with Shannon. So I kind of want to talk to you first about your entrepreneurial journey, and then the reason that we're talking today is because you have a few Facebook groups and you've really built your brand with these Facebook groups, which I'm really intrigued by because people talk about having these groups, but I've never, I guess, had the courage to start a Facebook group. So I am really interested to see your journey in that too. But first, I just want to dive more into entrepreneurship and what that means for you. So first question, what is your favorite thing about having your own business and being an entrepreneur?
Having my own business. Well, I think the biggest thing is getting to be home with my kids and getting to work from home. And I could sit here and hold my baby in my lap and, work with one hand if I needed to. And then just have the kids come in here. Was that?
You just had a baby.
Oh, just had a baby. Yeah, she's 3 months old.
3 kiddos.
But yeah, just, holding my baby, her being a part of my everyday life. And then, the kids getting to come in here and whenever they need to. I mean, I still get to be part of their everyday, which is fantastic. So I think that that's kind of my favorite part. And eventually when all of the kids are in school, I'll probably have, a space outside of the home just to kind of get out. But for now, this is like the best part.
It's like the dream
to be home with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is your least favorite thing?
It would probably be the same thing. It does get tricky. As much as I love being here with my kids, it does make the process a little bit slower in terms of editing or like trying to type an email with one hand while you're bouncing a baby. That is tricky. Having to get up for the constant snacks or stop the bickering or whatever it might be. So it's the same thing. Same answer.
That's funny. I like it. Awesome. Well, I think it's a great point to jump in and kind of talk about how you've built your brand with not one, but two Facebook groups. So why don't you give us a little background on the two groups?
Okay. Oh man, where to start? So I guess when I got to a certain point with my photography, a lot of people started asking me, do you do tutorials? They'd ask me a lot of advice, or I felt like maybe I had something to say, or I wanted people to know things, but I didn't want to go here's all my information to people that don't really care.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of created my smaller group, which is Chasing Arrows with Shannon Squires Photography, and I love that group.
Link that down below. Sorry, I'm gonna link all that down below.
So perfect. Okay, and so it's a smaller, more quaint little group, and I love it. But it's all the people that really truly do want to learn little snippets here and there, or just where they can ask questions here and there. And so I created that group, and then like I said, as I kind of progressed in my photography along the ways and through a different series of events, I connected with Samarana.
Mm-hmm.
Summerana, we create Photoshop actions and overlays for Photoshop. But Grace and I had connected, and we decided that I was going to come on and teach tutorials for the shop as well. So that's what I do. And so we have a group that has over 27,000 members.
That's
It's
amazing.
so nice to kind of, it's really nice because we feel like it's very beginner friendly. So you can see people, all ranges of different types of photos, people posting um, from their, they're just starting out to people who have been around for a little bit, and they're just using their overlays or whatever it might be. But you also get to see the people who have gone through the group and through the membership and have really advanced their skills in photography.
Awesome. Cool. So let's talk about each one kind of separately, but what do you feel like having a Facebook group has done for your brand or brands being?
Yeah. So, I think like for my photo page for my business, it's hard sometimes because you don't want to spam it up all the time with all the things just for photographers, right? Like here's my tutorial. You also have to kind of without creating a whole other page, you have to kind of be conscious of where the two entities, right? So you have your clients who are booking you for photo shoots, and then of course you have your photographers who are coming in and they want to learn from you so that they can also be successful in their businesses.
Right.
So it's tricky in that sense. So with my Chasing Arrow group, what's nice is that I can just post things that relate to my tutorials and catering to photographers and all the ins and outs of learning what I do or what I'm up to and that sort of a thing. So that's why I like that specific group, so that I'm not spamming up for my clients.
Yeah. And so then do you keep your Facebook page primarily for your clients then, or?
I would say so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously a lot of the people that do follow me on my page are also photographers, or they're thinking about being photographers or whatever it is. So I do throw my bigger workshops and stuff on my page.
Oh, okay.
But the majority of the learning and different things I put into my groups.
Okay, awesome. And what do you think it's done for the Summerana brand, because it's so big, and you in the Summerana? I mean,
yeah. So yeah, the Summerana group it's really fascinating because there are so many people there from so many different countries, and so you really get to see different cultural, like how they do it in different countries, and then just everybody's opinions on what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. So it gets really interesting, but it's a really great group. And I think having that group gives people an outlet to show what they've learned through the Summerana membership, but also continue to learn as well, and get some feedback and really connect with myself and Grace and our huge team of admins that we have to help moderate the group. So yeah, that's just, I mean, it's huge on a whole other scale.
Right. It's a totally different thing, these two.
It is, yeah. It's definitely a lot different.
So you're going back to the Chasing Arrows. Do you feel like your growth in that group has been slow, been fast, been right on track? Are you not concerned with numbers, or what's your approach?
I'm not. In that group, I'm not concerned with numbers. I kind of like having the idea of a nice little kind of quaint group. Okay. I don't really promote the group too much. People just kind of happen upon the group. Okay. So if they add themselves to it, the growth has definitely been pretty small. But like I said, it's kind of nice to have like a little bit more quieter group when we deal with so much on the other end with the Summerana one. So it's like the contrast between the two is just kind of night and day.
Okay. And I can't remember because I'm in both of your groups, I think, but are they public or private, or what is
they are public.
Oh, they're all public, so you can just join. You don't have
to. No. Sorry, they are private. You do have to you have to request to join. Both of you have to request. So in both of the groups, I do make sure that they are truly photographers.
Oh, okay.
You actually have to truly be a photographer, because I work with so many models and model moms that it's nice to just have a place for photographers. Okay. You know, like there's other groups that the moms can join or whatever, or be a part of. But in this case, I want it to truly be something that the photographers can come and like have a space just for photographers.
Yeah. And do you think for somebody who's thinking of starting a group, do you think it's important to have kind of that private setting where you maybe have to answer a question or something to get in, just kind of to keep the caliber high?
I do, you know, and it's interesting too, because the more your group is out there, the more you get people that try to take advantage of maybe what you offer or what you're doing in those groups. And I work with so many children that they're my littles, right? I have to protect them. There's so many weirdos out there, and you just have to be aware of what's going on. And so absolutely, like, and that's why I have questions like, are you a photographer? You know, link your page. If you don't answer the questions, I'm not adding you. So you're not just going to get lucky and have me just accept you.
Right.
You have to answer the questions. Because like I said, because I do work with children, it's important to put those, you know, it is in, especially if you want to fine tune your group, if you have a specific focus of your group, then those questions are going to be even more important than if you're just creating a group of
right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I think that's a really good point, Shannon, because I think anybody who wants to start a group as an entrepreneur, you should be niched down in your business. And therefore, I kind of feel like a group would only be successful if it were niched down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think the reason you have so much engagement and everything is because people are all coming for a common reason.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you kind of explained, but I wanted to talk about your main audience, maybe in each of them. Now, they're all photographers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is it mostly children photographers? Is it people who are aspiring to do kind of what you do, or do you see a little of everything?
You know, I would say the vast majority of the people in my Chasing Arrows group are children, or at least fine art photographers who are kind of within the realm of what I do, right? So sometimes they might trickle into a little bit of family photographers, but you really won't see a ton of newborn photographers, wedding photographers, landscape photographers. The vast majority of them do pretty much what I do in my Chasing Arrows group. Now in the Summerana group, because our products basically work for everything, we cater to all types of photographers. So we have, you know, newborn overlays, and then we have actions that a lot of people use for weddings and different things. So we have a little bit of everything. We cater to everybody there.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So how, in each of those groups, how do you really try to foster community and engagement? And like, what are some things that you do to keep the group going?
Yeah, so as far as my little Chasing Arrows group, when you do have a little bit of a smaller group, it's hard to keep things rolling. So in my Chasing Arrows group, I try to post what I post on my other pages, or, you know, my workshops or whatever are coming up in that group. And then I try to ask questions when I do, so that people are kind of engaging, and it kind of keeps things rolling just a little bit. So that's important. In our Summerana group, it kind of it's big at this point, so it just kind of rolls itself.
Okay.
So in that case, it's almost like we have to have this large group of admins to kind of keep the ball from going too fast, right? Okay. So it's like we have people to wrangle people in. So when in Summerana, with all of the admins doing kind of their part, we want it to be a super friendly and welcoming environment, because we have people coming in who just picked up their camera yesterday, right? And then you have people who have been shooting for decades. So in Summerana, we are pretty good about watching the comments and making sure nobody's rude. Only offering constructive criticism when asked, that sort of a thing. Because, you know, if someone comes in and they just picked up their camera yesterday and they're posting this picture and they feel like, I'm on the right track, this is fantastic, and somebody kind of like squashes their dreams, that's not cool.
Right. And right, even though you didn't do it, it reflects poorly on your brand.
Absolutely it does. Yeah. So, you know, and we've had people say like how fantastic our group is because we are so on top of it. but yeah, we really want it to be welcoming, because you're right, it does kind of tie into the membership itself. And there's been people, you know, who for if it makes the brand look bad, then they don't, you
Yeah.
know, to do their membership. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
absolutely, it
Yeah,
definitely rides on all of our shoulders to moderate the group well.
yeah, for sure. So, what would you say for each group? What is your goal of the group? Like, what, we kind of talked about why you started it, but what do you feel like keeps you going, and what's your goal? What are you looking for in those
Yeah, so the goal of my Chasing Arrows group is just to have, I think it's a more intimate group. So if I ever really needed to, or if on occasion I do, I go in there and I can ask questions that engage people on a different level, right? Like they're a little bit more open, because there's not, you know, 50,000 people commenting underneath it.
group?
So they're a little bit more honest about their answers. They're a little bit more open to answering the questions, that sort of a thing. So it's almost like just like a little smaller circle of friends. And so yeah, so that's kind of the goal there, is just like having an intimate discussion, intimate learning, where people can come and ask me about what I do on my daily basis. And it's just, you know, Shannon Squires photography. This is me, you know, that's what it is. The Summerana group, our biggest focus is just aiding photographers in their learning, but also in their creativity, because we have so many options for them to create, you know, so many different things between the overlays and the actions and everything else. So our focus there is really to help photographers learn and grow in their journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this kind of ties in with that, but I wanted to ask about, you know, how you monetize the groups, and if it's not like direct monetization, like how you get a return on the investment of your time and your effort in each of these groups. And so, because I think anybody that is an entrepreneur thinking about starting a Facebook group, I think you have to have an end goal in mind. You don't want to just spend a lot of time on a group and not see any return on that.
Right.
So what is your take on that?
So, so with Summerana, my engagement with just the people who are joining the group, like if, let's say if somebody asks a question, and if I'm quick to answer them, they're like, oh, wait, you're the teacher of the group. Okay, you just really helped me there. So then maybe they go sign up into the membership. So that is how we monetize Summerana. So we direct people to the membership through, I mean, posting pictures, answering questions, just kind of basically being engaged in the group, and just making people aware that we have this service and it's there, and it just makes people aware of it. And ultimately, the photographer or the groups on Facebook helps kind of combat those pesky algorithms that kind of prevent your pages from being seen.
Right.
So even with the Summerana group, Summerana page, we have like 170,000 followers on there. But if you're in the group, you're always going to see group posts more than you ever will any post coming directly from the business page.
Exactly.
So it just kind of funnels everybody to the membership through activity and posts and interaction. For my Chasing Arrows group, it's really nice because I can kind of the same thing, but just a little bit of a smaller scale, is engage with those photographers. And then when I do have workshops and everything that pop up, those are my first people that are going to most likely book and follow me to these workshops, because I've spent the time to engage with them here.
Yeah.
They now want to follow me and do something in person.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I think that's really important for any content that you're putting out there, is that you're really giving this free value to people, and they're feeling like they're getting a lot of value, so that when you don't want a group to just be like spam, buy this, you don't want it to be that. So you're adding value, and then when you do have a sales pitch, those are the people who felt like you've really supported them, that you've given them all this free value. So of course they're going to pay for the paid value.
Yeah. It's almost like, the little groups are them shopping around before they commit to going this way or this way.
That's a great way to put it, because they get a little taste of your brand. And it gets to validate that you're authentic and you have things to teach and all of that. And then they feel more comfortable spending the money on it.
Right. Especially with so many different workshops and so many different resources out there, people want to know that they're making the right decision.
Yeah, right. Totally. So tell me about, you've kind of talked about how, I think for the Chasing Arrows group, you're the only admin, correct? You don't have. Yeah. And then for the other one, you said you have like 15 admin or something?
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
Okay, so.
And I think we could probably use more, to be honest.
That's crazy. So I kind of wanted to talk about, having the admin and all of that. And kind of, I know in groups there can sometimes be a lot of drama. So how do you avoid the drama to begin with? And then if there is drama, how do you deal with it?
There's no avoiding the drama. Well, just kidding. Actually, in my Chasing Arrows group, there's no drama. I don't think I've ever seen really any drama.
But
yeah, there hasn't been. I think that if there ever was a little hiccup of drama or a little glitch of whatever, then I think I'd be pretty quick to squash it. I don't do drama well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the same thing in our Summerana group. We have a set of rules, and as the group gets bigger, you're going to start adding rules, right? And it's
dealt with things.
Oh,
we can't have that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like building a contract for your business where you're like, well, that happened, so now I'm going to add it to my contract.
Exactly.
The same thing when you're dealing with a group. We have these lists of rules. No outside links. Be kind. Things that should basically just be it's like the golden rule, but nobody wants to.
Things you shouldn't have to say, but you have to say them.
You have to say, but now we have to say because now it's a rule, and if you break it, we can kick you out.
Right.
So so I think that the rules are important when creating a group, so that you kind of know what your focus is, and so you can avoid that drama. You have to put them out there, keep reminding people. So, and actually because we have so many admins, everybody has kind of their own sensitive points, I guess, where they're like, nope, that's against the rules, and so they're all really quick to kind of help bat those things, and so that we can kind of avoid that drama. But we also have each time we warn somebody, we repost underneath their comment or within that thread the rules, like please be kind and courteous, do not give feedback unless asked for, that sort of a thing. So that is kind of how we kind of curb the drama just a little bit. But I think anytime you get a diverse group of people, everybody's going to have their own opinions and styles, and they're going to fight. So that just happens.
They just kind of have to be proactive about it, I guess, with your rules, and then you have the support being the admins to be monitoring it.
Yes. Yep. And as the group grows, we're just going to have to add more people, to kind of watch it. So we have admins that are kind of all in different time zones, some that are in other countries. So it really helps. So because we have so many people in other countries too, we need people watching basically at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would you say to someone who is thinking about starting a group for their small business or to grow their tribe? What is some advice that you have that maybe they wouldn't have thought of now that you've had all this experience?
I would say stay positive. Don't post a bunch of your dirty laundry.
Right. Yeah.
Keep it classy. And have a focus.
Right.
And find ways to make it fun. Ask questions. Keep people engaged.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So that's kind of it for the Facebook group portion. And thank you so much for sharing your experience. Like I said, this is something that I've always been intrigued by, but I'm just like, no drama. I don't want to do it.
So good. You would make a really good group.
You're sweet. Thank you.
I would be there.
But I want to ask kind of a broader question for maybe people who are just starting out or, even people who have followed you for a while and see you as kind of just a successful entrepreneur to look up to. What are some like tidbits of advice that you could give people?
In terms of financial success, I would say know your expenses, know how to run a business.
You're really good at that.
Oh, I'm so well, and I think I'm so passionate about it because I did it wrong for so long, and I feel like I've wasted so many years losing money that now I want people to kind of start off on the right track. So if you haven't done your costs of doing business, and if you don't know what it costs to run your business, then you're already starting off in the negative. Because I used to think that like charging like $250 for a session and handing over all these, files was a good idea because it was easy, but it was not, because I'd never looked at my books and what it was actually costing me, not only financially but time-wise.
Right.
I didn't really understand that value until I started having kids. I didn't realize how important my time was, and so after I did that and I really did the numbers. Things really changed and kind of took off for me. So know your business. And yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong as long as you know your business and your business focus and where you want to be with your goals.
I think so many artists are, and I work exclusively with like artists and creatives, and I just really see them struggling because they want so badly to just follow the art that they have a hard time with the business and the money side of it. And I really want to encourage people along the lines of what you said to like know your business and like make sure that you're making a profit, because if you're not making a profit, you don't have a business. You have like a hobby or a charity.
Yes.
So yeah, like it's okay to be making money and be making good money.
Yes.
For doing something you love. Like there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think it's the dream. So,
and the thing on that too is if you run your business accordingly, then you have more time to create more art that fits your brand.
Exactly. And if you feel like you're making good money and you have downtime, that you're not like doing this crazy hustle all the time, you're actually better for your clients too. You're giving them a better experience. You have more to give. So yes. I totally agree. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today and for sharing all about this. Like I said, it's something that I've always been intrigued by, but I was really glad to be able to your brain. So before we sign off, can you just tell people like how they can connect with you, get to know you, even your groups and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can join any of my groups if you want to: Chasing Arrows with Shannon Squires Photography, or the Summer on a Photoshop Tribe. But also I'm doing a workshop in Victoria, BC in October. If you guys want to join me there, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be highly styled in a gorgeous location in Victoria. I have lots of cool stuff planned, and that's going to be October 6th.
And Shannon does amazing workshops. I've never been, I kind of was getting out of photography at the time that we met, but every time she comes back from these workshops, I see these just like incredible photos. So if that's something you're interested in, you should definitely check it out. And I'm going to link all of her contact information, her social, her groups, all that down below. So go check it out. And thank you so much, Shannon.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. After I recorded this interview, I was so inspired by Shannon and her awesome tips that I finally bit the bullet and started my own Facebook group. We're just getting started and I would love to have you join us. So click that link down below to request membership. And be sure to check out Shannon's work as well as her Facebook groups, which are all linked down below. And I'll see you in the next video.